So good evening, everybody. This is your kickoff meeting or session for Grantwriting Mastery July cohort. Now, your program is structured to hold all the Saturdays of July from 8 p.m. British summer time. So it's 8 p.m. right now in the UK. That means if you're in Nigeria, we're in the same time zone. If you're in Nigeria, it's the same time zone. It's 8 p.m. in Nigeria. It's 10 p.m. in Kenya. In the US, because we have one of our coaches from the US, is about, should be 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. or something, about 3 p.m.
It's 3 p.m.
Hello, Renee.
Hello, Rookie. It's 3 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, great. Good to have you. So we have participants from Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon, and I think South Africa or something. But
I'm in class. Nigeria,
Kenya, and then Cameroon. And then our coaches are spread across the UK, Nigeria, and the US. Renee is in the US. Renee is the CEO of More Grants LLC in the US. He'll be supporting us. And then we also have Abraham, who works with the Norwegian Refugee Council. I'm not sure he's in here tonight. And then myself. So we'll have 3 of us to support your proposal development as we go on. So it's a short meeting. I just want you to introduce yourselves. If possible, turn on your camera. Let's have that feeling as if we're in the same room, you know? So you can turn on your camera. You have 1-2 minutes to tell us where you are, what you do, your name, especially your programs, what you do, because I want participants to be able to see who they can collaborate with in terms of partnerships on a project. So you can co-write a proposal, partner with another organization, especially if you've noticed that, oh, this person in Cameroon does something similar, then you can do a project together and you get it funded. So that's the idea, for you to build collaborations and then do shared learning and exchanges, best practices across your program areas, across the sector. So let's go, let's hear everyone. Turn on your cameras if you can. I know it's late in the evening, it's almost bedtime, but it's the sacrifice that we're doing for the next 5 weeks. So if you can turn on your camera, do that. Let's get to see your beautiful and cute faces. Hello, Madam Stella, good to see you after, I think it's been 2 years or 3 years. It's been a long time. Yeah. So, okay, let's get your cameras on if you can. And then let's get on the introductions. We have a team from Kenya, I think about 5 of you from your organization. I've been struggling to pronounce it and I can't get around it. Is it Sasa Harembe? You want to help me here, Joachim? What's the name of your organization?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. So help me pronounce that name of your organization. I've been struggling with it.
So Sasa Harambe is an umbrella that supports 2 projects. So
okay.
The 5 of us are from 3 different projects that supported under 1 umbrella.
Okay, Sasa Harambe. I tried Sasa Harambe. That's good. So like Carol, your CEO, told me, you people will be working on 3 different projects. So we look forward to seeing the projects that you will be developing and the proposals that you'll be writing. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, Professor Obi. So I would be calling out the names as I see here on my participants list so that you can introduce yourself in 2 minutes. So the first person is Madam Victoria. I said that I'm not graduated. You must write that proposal this time around.
Yes, so
good
evening, everyone. My name is Victoria Oji from Nigeria.
Okay.
Our initiative is Victoria Bickins Initiative. We work in areas of health, education, livelihood, women and gender, and so on and so forth. So I intend to write about not less than 3 proposals this time around too.
Awesome. Awesome. 3 proposals. All right. So the next on my list is Ruth is song.
Hello.
Hi,
Good evening,
Ruth.
everyone.
Good evening.
I am Ruth from Nigeria. I live in Abuja. So our initiative is Iwakamani Leadership Foundation.
Okay.
We are trying to see how we can uplift young girls and women and, try to educate them on sex education and then we're trying to fuse the agricultural sector into our program as well too.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I'm hoping that by the end of this session, I'll be able to write several proposals to help boost our initiative.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruth. Okay. I've seen names that are stronger than my name here. This Anu. Anu, please introduce yourself. Everybody use the short form. Anu, introduce yourself. Anu Oluwapo. Don't mind if I use my Urubu tongue to pronounce your name.
Okay, good evening, house.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm so sorry, I was in the kitchen. I had to quickly run out. Please just permit me.
Okay.
Okay, so you may not see my face. I mean, I don't know if you'd excuse me from.
No worries at all.
Okay, so at the moment, we're working with street children.
Okay.
And the intention is to give them a better life. Because I've seen that I started working with street children in 2015. Background, you were saying something about having structure to whatever it is you're doing. So more like there was really no structure. I was just passionate about them because I was whenever I see them, I always feel maybe they should have a better life. So by the time I started engaging with them, I had a small team that would go after those young people, and I saw that they had access. Some of them were school dropouts. We had some of them that dropped out as a result of drugs. Some of them were in their maybe final year or semi-final year, and they are in Oshodi there. The focus where we started and we're still working on is Oshodi.
All right.
So that's what we are doing at the moment and what we've been doing. Additionally, I'm also into sign language.
You have finished your 2 minutes.
I do sign language. You said?
I said you have exhausted your 2 minutes introduction.
Oh, 2 minutes. Okay, I'm sorry, it's 2 minutes. So,
no worries.
So we also do sign language. So let me add that.
Vulnerable children, orphan children, good to know. Werimo Madaraka from Kenya. Let's hear your introduction. What do you do? The programs you run?
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Madaraka Werimo Samson from Kenya, Mombasa.
All right.
Well, I'm working with Global Afrikaners Connection, a CBO based in Shanzu.
Okay.
Well, the CBO itself is actually a young CBO developed in 2019.
Okay.
It's actually dealing with children and vulnerable family within Shanzu village, a small village within Mombasa.
Okay. So I'm seeing a lot of vulnerable children, vulnerable populations that you guys are serving. So you want to share ideas as you do the presentations on a week-to-week basis. You'll be able to pick ideas from what your colleagues are doing across your borders. So it's for you to learn, pick ideas. How are they supporting other vulnerable children? You may see someone doing mentorship to mitigate the trauma that comes with their vulnerability, and you've not been doing it. You want to connect with that person, ask more questions about how they are running their programs, and see if you can integrate it into what you do. Beyond the proposal writing here, we want to create an environment for shared learning. So use these 5 weeks to learn from each other, even as the coaches provide support during the group sessions to say, strengthen this part of the proposal or this other part, pick the lessons from that support and integrate it into the work you do. So thank you for sharing, Madaraka. Michael, you're up.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Ayo Michael Exor. I'm a director with the Emmanuel Matthew Foundation based in Jos, Plateau State. We're quite new. It was established January this year, and we are focused on providing help to the less privileged of the society. We also seek ways to nurture the younger generation and empower them so that they can be very useful to the society. We also seek ways to demonstrate love in a very special way. So
you must show me love too.
So I'm very open to learn about structuring because I was appointed as director. So structuring the foundation from the scratch and building it to impact the society and the world at large. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, good to have you join us. So it's as if people held meeting, all of you working with vulnerable children, you held meeting as if we are the ones for this cohort. All right, good to have you here. So next we have Ebenezer, Barrister Ebenezer.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry, I missed the earlier introductions. I was battling with my network.
Don't worry, you're right on time.
Okay. My name is Ebenezer Iguatu. I am from Nigeria, resident in the Federal Capital of Nigeria, FCT Abuja.
Okay.
I'm a legal practitioner. I am the founder and executive director of Lawyers Arise for the People initiative. It is a patients' rights and safety advocacy NGO.
Okay.
More like medical law consultancy with a focus on patients' rights, the rights of patients when they visit hospital. The need for that, why we are doing that is to curb incidences of avoidable deaths occasioned by medical negligence. Over the years, nobody has been holding our doctors and healthcare providers accountable. So we are not saying that they are responsible for all the fatalities that occur in hospitals, but they should be up and doing. So that's why the NGO came on board.
All right, thank you. Your 2 minutes is up. Oluwaseun Adesanya.
No.
Seun Adesanya, you're up. You're not ready, then we're going on. So if your name is showing as Zoom user or iPhone, we wouldn't really know who you are. So you want to rename your account. So let's know who you are. All right, so just change iPhone or Zoom user to your name. Dr. Chinomso. I want to be sure that everyone is hearing. Dr. Chinomso.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm happy to be here. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Dr. Chinomso Allwell. I'm the founder of Peculiar Generations Foundation, domiciled here in Nigeria, Delta State to be precise.
Interesting.
Yeah, what we do, we try to groom and nurture teenagers and youth, younger generations, to become a better versions of themselves. And we do that. One of the things that has been affecting our society today is not having the belief that one can navigate life through great success without indulging in negative
crime.
So, and when we train them, we will not just leave them, we try to empower them with livelihood skills, you know, so that they will be able to grow from there, from what they want to do. We are not ruling out the importance of education, but we are saying that after education, there should be something that somebody has passion for. and that person should be encouraged to go into that. So
Okay.
that's what we want to achieve.
Interesting.
And we
So
are
you're
new.
doing livelihood development for young people. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. So next, Ayo, you've done your introduction. Yeah. Professor Obioma. So I'm already doing half of the introductions. Calling your name.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. I am I don't know. It's gone again.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay. I'm Obi. Okay. My name is Obioma Nwogu. I work in Enugu, and presently, although we have various thematic areas.
Okay. Hello, Prof. We can no longer hear you. All right. So the hazards of Nigerian internet.
OVC, save.
Okay, we can hear you
it's
now.
off and on. So that's what we do. I said we have several thematic areas, but presently we're working on OVC issues.
All right.
In the thematic areas in 2 LGs with the Caritas International.
Caritas, okay, great. Excellent. A lot of vulnerable people working with vulnerable populations. That's good. So there'll be a lot of shared learning. All right, so let's get introductions from Elizabeth.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Elizabeth from Kenya, Siaya County. I'm working with an organization called Gunja Development Initiative. Here we work mostly with adolescent girls and boys in issues related to sexual reproductive health rights. Thank you.
Yeah, interesting, nice and short. Gold Zulu. Gold Zulu. This should be another name. Gold Zulu, can you introduce yourself, please? All right, Miriam, can you introduce yourself? Gold Zulu, okay. I think you turn on your mic.
Sorry, my network is really bad.
No worries. So let's hear you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Micheline from Cameroon.
Okay.
I work with Earthworm Foundation. We work in stabilizing environmental and social issues within value chains. That is, we help value chains to put in place policies that will benefit both them and the actors or the suppliers that are within this value chain. So we are like a private company. We work with private companies mostly, but now we are venturing into the area of grants and projects.
All right.
So it's really like a new area for us.
Interesting. Thank you, Micheline. And next we have Emma.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Emma Mungute from Kenya. I am the founder of Amandla MEK Foundation. Amandla is a Zulu word which means power, and MEK are the initials of my name, Mungute Emma, and my other name. So what we focus on is to economically empower the young girls and women that we encounter, and our 5 thematic areas that all tie to economic empowerment is health, education, leadership and governance, economic empowerment projects. We have climate change action, and our biggest, which is
Only you.
agribusiness.
Which one would you leave for other people to do?
So basically what makes us unique is we are a holistic organization. And so any group we meet, they go through all those programs, but our main focus, anything we do is to economically empower women and young girls. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So I'm seeing a lot of commonalities amongst participants, which is very good. All right, thank you, Emma, for sharing. Then iPhone. So if your name is, you will need to change this so that we can call you by your name. We can't address you as iPhone. So if you're tagged iPhone, can you unmute yourself and tell us who you are, where you are, what you do? All right, we'll move on to Isaiah. So most likely you don't even know your name is showing as iPhone.
Thank you. My name is Isaiah Uchie. I work with an organization called the Gunja Development Initiative based in Kenya, part of Sasa Harambee team. Our thematic area and our focus is advocacy for health. And under health, we do both communicable and uncommunicable diseases and sexual reproductive health and rights. Water, sanitation and hygiene, and economic empowerment. Those are our key focus areas. But we also have advocacy on social accountability and environmental accountability. Yes.
All right, that's great. Thank you for sharing. And thanks to the Sasa Harambee team. Joshua Aramu, you are up.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Joshua Aramu, and I am the program manager at Gbenga Fawemi Foundation.
Okay.
Gbenga Fawemi Foundation is based in Ondo City, Ondo State, Nigeria.
Okay.
And mostly we are into mentorship, leadership, we are into educational scholarship, and entrepreneurial skills to vulnerable children in the society. So as a foundation, we came to close some socio-economic gap in this society. So we have been doing this on our own, but we thought it is high time we stepped out of our comfort zone to network with big global organizations so that we can reach more than we are doing presently now. So that's what we do.
Thank you for sharing. So we have Joachim. Joachim, have you introduced yourself before? I hope I'm not calling you for the second time.
Not yet. I've not introduced myself.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, guys.
Good evening.
So I'm Joachim Ondiege from Kenya, and I work for Sigombe Organic Agriculture Program under Sasa Harambee. And our main area of focus is agriculture, and that is organic agriculture. And we also ensure that farmers get something into their pockets. So that is income generation.
Livelihoods, income development. All right, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing, Joachim. And next we have Nancy. You just popped in. I guess you just changed from Zoom user. Nancy Olisakwe, you're up.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Nancy Olisakwe. I'm Nigerian. I'm actually attending from Nigeria as well. Okay. So I actually kind of boarding on this course. So I spoke with I mentioned that I actually work with farmers across Nigeria, Kenya, and Uganda. We're currently working to support close to 500,000 farmers with access to warehousing, access to storage facility, access to finance, and financial inclusion. And also by this side, I work with group of women to kind of grant them access to last mile delivery. I think that's part of what we discussed earlier. So basically
that's very interesting. So those of you from Kenya, you want to hold Nancy's cloth very well and get to really understand what the program is about and then what shared commonalities you all have. All right, thank you for sharing, Nancy. Often.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Ofon Bokumo. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm the founder and executive director of Good News Livelihood Foundation.
All right.
We provide humanitarian and healthcare services in underserved communities with focus on prevention of non-communicable disease. We also work on rehabilitation of the people with disabilities.
Okay.
We also look at livelihood programs and other thematic areas. So this is just my first time being in a class like this, and I hope to learn so that I can come out from where I have been. I've been struggling to work for the past 12 years. So I believe by the time I'm done with this class, the burden will be off my shoulder. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Fun. And then we have Renee.
Hello.
Hi, Renee.
So yeah, wonderful people. I just want to greet you from this end, and it's actually a pleasure to join this platform. And it interests me actually to know that we have a vast array of professionals here, ranging from lawyers, from doctors, professors. And I want to say that it's always a good thing to join this kind of platform, and you won't regret your stay here. So I am Renee. I'm originally from Cameroon. I'm based in the US. I'm resident in the US. So I am actually a founder of More Action for Disability Inclusion. So I founded this organization more than 10 years ago. And then when I discovered that a lot of people were suffering to have grants, and with all the passion that it takes, to fall into this kind of arena, I jumped into consultancy. I founded the More Grants Consulting Services. So I'm a grant consultant, all registered here in the US. So I don't want to take you much time, and I know we are going to unravel some of the things that you people need from us from our end. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and thank you for offering to support us, Renee. It's a privilege. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. So Renee will be coaching us to a co-coach. It's unfortunate Abraham couldn't join us tonight. So we'll be 3 coaches providing you all with support over the next 5 weeks. And next we have, your name is showing as Infinix Hot 6. Infinix Hot 6. You are not able to hear us. Okay, let me send you a message. Your mic is not connected. That's why you're unable to hear us. Click on your mic button and dial in. Connect via Wi-Fi. I hope he sees the message because he's unable to hear us. All right, thank you, everyone. I hope we all have introduced ourselves. If I've not called you, think Fumi, yes. Fumi, please introduce yourself. Jill, Fumi, I think 2 of you left. So please go ahead and introduce yourself, Fumi. Oh, you're in a noisy place. Okay, just drop it in the chat area, your program, what you do, where you are, so everyone can get to meet you. Go ahead, Jill. Let's hear you. Okay, so after Jill, Luasheun, you introduce yourself. Jill, not okay. Sharon, go ahead, introduce yourself.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Atosa, and I live presently here in the UK. So I'm the, founder of Hosanna Help Foundation in Lagos, Nigeria, and then we are particularly into empowering the youth. The vulnerable youth and adolescents, and we've been in operation since 2019, doing it our own way. But it's just a privilege now to be here, at least to learn more and, go bigger. Thank you.
All right. And then Fumi, her name is Fumi Olare. She's the CEO of Sascan. Messages are popping in quickly. She's from Save a Child, Save a Nation Foundation based in Lagos, Nigeria, and their main work is on career development and education for young people aged 8 to 18 years. Also, Jill, her name is Jill Oko, and she works with Joachim in Kenya. So you're part of the Sasarambe group. We have 5 people from one umbrella organization, Sasarambe, and then they're working across 3 different program areas throughout the group. So thank you, everyone. So we have, in this particular cohort, I actually pegged it at 20, but Sasarambe bumped us with 5 people and we crossed.
Sorry,
into...
I didn't get to introduce myself anyway. Sorry, I
Okay,
guess serious.
all right, go ahead, please.
So my name is Stella Emeka Okoli. Initially, I was working with widows, and I still do have a passion for widows, but like you know, my son went in to take out his appendix some years ago and came out with a brain injury, and suddenly we have a special needs in my house. So I founded an organization called Rediscovering You, because I found out that the mothers or parents, but specifically mothers of children with special needs, go through unimaginable trauma. Even if you have a child that was born with a special need, and how much more, my son was already 10 years when this accident happened. And so after going through clinical psychological counseling with my daughters and myself for about a year, I began to put down some of the things that I went through as a person. And in the last 1 year, I've just been offering free trauma-informed education and mental health awareness for mothers and other topics that have to do with your self-esteem, shame, and things that people don't really talk about, even in churches. So that's really where I want to be able to help parents who it's tough having a special child. So and having a child who is disabled either from birth or by accident. So I really want to be able to I believe that healing comes when you help also. So that's what I want to I'm really working on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's really wonderful how you are able to, you want to channel the pain and the trauma that you've gone through into also helping other people who are going on this journey. Families that also have children with special needs and persons with special needs. I cannot begin to imagine how that feels like, but I believe that you're doing the right thing, you're on the right path, because from our personal stories, the reasons why we set up organizations, apart from seeing a need in a community, a lot of nonprofit founders that I have met, also it has to do with a personal story, a personal situation, or a personal experience, and then they decide, oh, there are other people like this, I want to help them overcome the battles that I am currently facing or I'm currently coming out from. So it's a beautiful thing that you're doing, supporting all the families that are also going through the same challenges, all through the same journey as you are. And then we have Bella. Bella is from Uganda. So we have participants from Nigeria, Uganda, Cameroon, and then Kenya. So from Uganda, she works with Kaiser Women Empowerment, and then they are dedicated to transforming the lives of widowed women in rural communities of Uganda by economically empowering them through goat farming. Beautiful. So all that I've gotten from all the participants here, so we have 22 participants here tonight because I and Renee were coaches. So we have 22 participants. 2 people are not in class. So from all that you have shared, we can see programs around economic development, health, the environment, health advocacy, water sanitation and hygiene, accountability, leadership development, educational scholarships, entrepreneurship, agriculture is also under livelihoods, and then mental health. And for the groups and the communities that you all serve, it cuts across women and girls, often the vulnerable children, teenage girls, which is also women and girls, underserved communities, young people, persons living with disabilities. So that you serve common communities, common groups, and common target population. The underlying factor there is that these are vulnerable people. These are underserved communities, which are actually the priority for the work you do as a non-profit. There are other populations that would actually need the solutions that you offer. The priority population are actually the underserved or the vulnerable population who on their own cannot get access to the services that you provide. So welcome everybody. I also want to thank you for choosing to work with me. I mean, there are coaches around, there are other trainers around, but you choosing, oh, I want to work with Ruki. I do not take it lightly. I do not take it for granted. And I want to thank you. So on the next journey for this 5 weeks, I want to encourage us to put in the work. Now, for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I am not a preacher of magic bullets or quick fix, quick hack, or something that you just do magically and then the grants will start coming in. I always share the process. I always talk about how it takes work, it takes being intentional, and then you have to put in the work. So you have realized that, you have recognized that process, and you have made the first step to come in, to step into the arena to say, yes, I'm ready to go on this journey to develop the skill set, to develop the capacity to write proposals so that I can raise funding for the work that I do. Now, I always say that the thing standing between you and the money that you need to fund your organization is a proposal. This proposal might be written, or it might be a verbal conversation that you're having with a funder when you find yourself in front of one. If the opportunity presents itself, maybe you've gone for a workshop or a summit, and then you saw the donors of the supporting that particular event there, and you approached one of them. The conversation you are having with them is also a proposal. But there is a way to structure and present our work that makes it more meaningful or makes sense to funders, so they understand what we are doing, see the value of what we are doing, and then make a positive decision to support your organization's work. That's just proposal writing. Proposal writing is communication. It's more of storytelling. You're telling a funder, these are the challenges, these are the groups that we are serving. These are the challenges that we are dealing with. These are the issues that we want to mitigate. And this is what life will look like for the population after we've done our work. And this is the work that we would do to bring this more meaningful life for the population. And this is how much we need. That's the summary of proposal writing. But it takes a structured process. It follows a structured approach. Now, when I started the journey of writing a proposal for grants, I came from a business school setting. And it's actually different. Though there are similarities, it's different. I had to learn how to structure the project. I had to learn how to put the project into a plan that funders will accept. Every industry has a system. Every industry has a framework with the way they want to have their things done. And then you working in the nonprofit sector, you have to understand what is the system that funders work with. What is the framework? What do they really want? Which is this journey, which will be unraveling and working with you on for the next 5 weeks. So this is just the kickoff meeting. I wanted us to meet ourselves, get to know the programs we're working on, see the similarities, and then which can provide opportunities for collaboration. So next on the agenda is for us to share the guidelines. So if you know that you have received your toolkit, just signify by raising your hand. There's a hand raise button that you can just click and then raise your hand. So if you have received your toolkit, please signify with a hand raise button so that I can see you. Then I can also see the people that are yet to receive, because I send this out on Friday, and then I am not sure if there's
guys should check that on the reaction section for the hand raise button. Reactions.
Yeah, so we have only 9 people raising their hands. Okay, 11 people raising their hands. 12. Ayo, haven't you received yours? Dr. Chinam, so have you received yours? Okay, since some of us cannot find the hand raise button, so another thing you can do, if you have not, you have checked your emails, you have checked spam, promotions, and everywhere, and you have not seen it, please leave a comment that you have not seen it. If you don't have it yet, everyone is supposed to have it by now. Okay, so based on the assumption that we have all received the toolkits, here are the guidelines for you all to follow. I know I shared it in the short course guideline video that I shared in the group, but I want us to have a conversation around that now. Now, you already have the workshops in the toolkits. Now, the idea is for you to study it at your pace. So each week we have 4 modules. If you look at the first button in that email where we say, okay, access your training videos here, your password is this. When you put in your password, you will see that there are 4 training videos there. There are 4 videos. These are live workshops, training workshops that I had to record so we don't keep reinventing the wheel. So you would hear live conversations in that particular training. So these are training videos for 4 modules. So you have the first module, which is understanding what funders want and also community needs. The second module is on project design and narrative writing. The third module is on monitoring, evaluation, and sustainability strategy. And then the fourth module is on budgeting. So each week, now that we are approaching week 1, which is next week, Saturday, July the 1st, you are to come to the session with your work done. And so what is this work that you need to do? So between now and that meeting, beyond the training videos, the second button on that email, you have access to a drive, a Google Drive that contains quite a number of documents. And I'll just run through the documents that you have in there. It contains quite a number of documents. So in it, you have a donor call for proposal from PAS Abuja. What's the full meaning of PAS again? But it's from the US Embassy. So I chose that particular proposal template because it is simple and difficult at the same time. So if you are able to work with that particular opportunity, though it's a past opportunity, so it's a sample, I want to give you that mock experience. If you're able to work with that opportunity, you can approach any proposal or application. And that is why I chose that. It's not too simple, it's not too difficult, it's just somewhere in between. So you have a donor call for proposal that you will meet in real life when you want to apply for a grant. You will see a call for proposal or a notification of funding opportunities that shows you what the donor wants. In that document, it contains the deadline for you to submit, how to submit the proposal, the documents you need to attach to it as supporting documents, the objective of that call, the location where they want to work. Everything is in that document. So you have a call for proposal. You also have the application form or the application templates. This is what you're using to write your proposal. Nowadays, you don't write a generic proposal to a funder. Every call for proposal, every funding opportunity has a specific template that you would use to make your application or that you use to submit your proposal, because there are specific information that that funder wants to see. So every funder is unique. So whatever information they want to see, they build it into their own unique application form. So this form might be a downloadable document, like the one we are working with on this program, or it may be an online form, looking like a Google form or an MS form, or it's just an online portal where you will not type in your answers online. So in that case, you may want to copy the questions out. But this particular one we're working with in this program is a Word document. So you download and then you work with it. You also have ebooks. You have an ebook on you have the grant proposal writing blueprint there, which is the first book I wrote on proposal writing. It's about 69 pages. It's a step-by-step process for writing a proposal. So those of you that love reading, consuming written piece, that book will help you. You also have the grant readiness checklist in that toolkit that shows you everything that any funder can ask you for, from strategic plan to audited financial report. It's a list of, you know, a lot of things that I have seen over the years that funders ask. So that will help you begin to put your house in order. And then you also have the funded sample proposal. Now, that sample funded proposal is my first successful proposal, and I always like to blab about it. It's for £98,000 with UK aid. That project is for a conflict mitigation project in the north central of Nigeria. And then I added it to the toolkit so that you can read through and see the flow of how the analysis was being put together, how everything is structured. You have it in that proposal. So it's not like one dummy proposal that I went to bring somewhere. It is actually a funded proposal for £98,000. You have it in the toolkit. You also have another document which I developed called the viability checker. So whatever project idea you have, you put it in that checker. So the checker asks you questions in terms of the scalability of your project, is asking you with regards to, oh, what's the research or data that backs up this project and all of that. It just helps you refine your project idea and ensure that there are no loopholes and gaps in the way you have developed your program or your project. So all those materials are there for your use. So here's how to go about it. Between now and your week 1, which is scheduled to hold on Saturday, July 1st, 8 p.m. British summer time, you should have gone through the first module. So you go through the workshop for module 1. If you look at the video without the live Q&A at the end of the video, that training should be about an hour, 30 minutes or an hour, 20 minutes or less. So you go through the training. For week 1, it focuses on what donors really want. It focuses on the entire process of the grant cycle and how to approach it, and also how to identify needs in the community that you will form the justification of your project. Proposal writing is a systematic process, yes. Sometimes people are scared to get into it, but there's a way to go about it. It's just supplying the answers to a donor's questions. But those answers should not be assumptions. Those answers should not be speculations. You should have done the homework. Your proposal is supposed to demonstrate that you are actually engaging and interacting with the population that you serve. So one of the things that even current clients I'm working with, some of the things we're struggling with is there's that disengagement. The design is looking like it's based on assumption of what the population needs. We want to put a solution on them without really getting down to say, okay, this is what this population really needs. So we're doing a lot of work trying to restructure, you know, to ensure that that engagement happens. You're seeing things from the perspective of the population and different stakeholders that are relevant to the work you do. So you would find the workshop, the first workshop in your toolkit, go through that workshop, and then there's a task, which is the co-work task at the end of the training when you go through it to the end. So the task is for you to use your application templates. So by now, you should have downloaded those materials and put it in your own folder in your system, because you can only download it. Don't try to fill it in the drive. Download the documents, all of it, save it to your laptop. The training videos you cannot download. You have to watch it live. You have to stream it live. But those other materials on the yellow button, download them, put them in your system, and then work with them. Read the donor call for proposal. Now, in the last cohorts that we held, there were some programs. You will find that if you read the donor call for proposal, you will find that your program is not there as part of the thematic area for that particular call for proposal. But do not worry. The idea is to help you know that, oh, there is a document called the call for proposal that you have to read, that you have to understand and work in line with that call for proposal. But for the purpose of this program, whatever program area you are working on now in your organization, if you're working on agriculture, face agriculture, even if it is not part of the call for proposal. So if you did not see any ebooks in your kit, in your email, check the email. There are 2 buttons. The first button is the black one. It contains your training videos. Beneath the black one is it looks like yellow or light lemon green. That is where you'll find all your templates, all the ebooks. Click it, it will take you to a drive, download them in your system. So you find that if you're working on agriculture, you may not see agriculture as part of the objectives of that call for proposal. Do not worry, work on agriculture regardless. Because at the end of the 5 weeks, when you have your full proposal developed, the proposal is developed, you have your budget, M&E plans, everything, you are going to look for 2 funding opportunities and apply for them. So I want you to begin to prepare your mind. You are not just coming to learn and say, oh, I attended a grant proposal writing training or whatever. You are coming to work. You're coming to do the work, to write the proposal, and then submit it to a funder. Why I'm saying submit it, because the first cohort, Husseini was the very first person that did that. I didn't even ask them to go ahead and submit, but the idea he worked on during the program, at the end, he just submitted. He sent me an email one day to help him look at the proposal. I was home in my uncle's burial in my village, and I said, I can't take a look at it, but I trust you. I know what we did in the group program, so submit it. And it was approved for $5,000. That was their very first grant. And so I decided to integrate it into the design to ensure that whatever you work on from here, you must get it to a funder. So you have to be as you are going through the program, be looking for the grants you will apply for, because you must apply for the grant and send me proof that you have submitted a funding application or a proposal. It must happen. If not, you will pay me money. You will pay fine. You're going to pay me $200 if you do not submit your proposal or your application within a specific time frame. You will pay me $200, which is like more than 2 times what you have paid for the training. That's the consequence. So if you don't want to pay me $200 for not submitting your application, you have to submit the application.
Can I chip in something in?
Yes, Renee, please.
Sorry about. So I was just trying to encourage you guys that the essence of this mastery class is to see that you guys become autonomous, more and more independent. All right. So you don't get to the task or to the pains of, I would say, maybe employing a consultant to write grants for your company.
Tell them how much you charge to write.
It costs a lot of money for you to employ a consultant, even for just a phone call here in the US, for example. Just to get a phone call for somebody to talk about grants, we get a lot of money from that. So this training has come right to your doorsteps. That's how I'm going to put it. Right to your doorsteps, and then you guys take the advantage and seize the opportunity. Take away fear from you. What intimidates you guys is fear. Listening to all of you speaking, I know you guys have very rich ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, you are champions to everything you do, you are different sectors. Take away fear. This course alone is going to remove fear from you. So please just be confident that you can make it. Because if you need to have to hire a consultant to write grants for you, it's more
your 1 year budget.
Yes, please. So take it serious. You get everything you need from this training.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Renee. So just in support of what Renee has said, I have a lot of requests, come and write proposal for our organization. I run away from writing grant proposal from growing organizations or small organizations. And I will tell you why. I write proposals, but for only big organizations that understand the process. They have the budget to pay me for it, that will make me put my head down and write. And also they understand that even if you write the best application, sometimes it may be rejected, okay? And so I just ask you, do you have the budget? Even if I say, okay, let me charge you 150,000 naira. How many of that can you afford to pay in a quarter? And how would that impact on the funding that is available to even run your programs within your organization? So that is why I push people into grant writing mastery. Learn it for yourself, and then take a hold and take mastery, take control of your organization's finances. Because if you are the mercy of a grant consultant, if you don't know how to write proposal, you are the mercy of a grant consultant like myself and Renee, is when we have chance to write for you that you will see money. But if you take control of your proposal writing internally, you can pursue more opportunities. You can pursue much more opportunities. So for those people that I'm working with in the Launchpad, we can only do 4 proposals in a quarter. But even if you're on the Launchpad and you are also writing independently, you will submit much more applications. And so that is the reason for this. You need to take control of your organization's finances, which is why we have put this program together. So I'm just hoping that I'm not missing anything out of the agenda. Finally, before we close out the meeting for tonight, I want you all to set your heart on a particular figure. Set your heart on a particular amount of money that you want to take out of this process, meaning you finish the work, you have done the work, you finish the entire proposal, you have your proposal narrative completed, you have your M&E framework completed, you have your budget written out, and then you want to send it to a funder. Maybe you've seen an opportunity that is in line with what you have developed, and then set your heart on a figure. What is this amount that I want to get down? Is it $50,000? Is it $30,000? So I usually say, look at between 10 to 100. Look at between 10 to 100, $10,000 as the minimum. Because $10,000 now in Naira is like 6.5 million. If you stretch 6.5 million Naira for 1 year, how far can it go? How many people will it be able to support? But I just want you to set your heart on a particular figure. You know, what you focus on, expand. Sometimes people will say, oh, motivational speakers, this and that. If you listen carefully, there are some principles that are hard truths that if you apply them to your life, you will see massive shift. And that is one of the things I pray for in this program. I say, God, there has to be breakthrough results from this place, because you did not call yourself, you did not wake up one morning to say, oh, let's just start a nonprofit for nonprofit. It's like a calling. It's like a calling from your spirit. Something higher than you was just pushing you that this thing has to be done. This thing has to be done. I was gisting with Renee last week Sunday. I ran away from grant writing mastery. Now I am back to what I ran away from. For some of you that followed for a while, you know that I ran away from the grant because it drains me. And I tried to do like Jonah and say, okay, 2 days workshop. That is band-aid. It did not work. We had to come back to grant writing mastery so that people like you who have been called into a mission way beyond you can have access to the skill set, the capacity, and the accountability you need to drive revenue for your organization. So set your heart on a figure, somewhere between $10,000 to $100,000. So you can see some projects that maybe at the end, when you finish your budget, you see that it's $20,000, you see it's $50,000. Just set your heart on it. I know that sometimes you hear me say, oh, you cannot be applying for $50,000 when you've not done much before, but let's take away some of these things and just be audacious with what we want to do and just break the ceilings, break all the barriers and the fears that we have set against ourselves and just fly. So set your figure between $10,000 and $100,000 at sea. I will do this work. I will do good work. Don't write shabby things and show up to class. last to the second cohort, they're writing bullet points. I don't want to see all those things. Do the work. Follow the workshops have everything you need. So the live sessions are just to push you on, clap for you, see if there are errors. I know that because the class size is somewhere in between small and big. So one thing additional thing I want us to do is when you download your application form and you start writing, save it to your drive and invite me as an editor. I will put my email in the WhatsApp group. Invite me as an editor, invite Renee as an editor. And then what are we going to do? We're going to look at it and just add comments to say, this is what you should do here. So if the time for the live sessions are not sufficient, because even if we work for 3 hours, one thing I'll do, I just wish Abraham was here, but I'm going to send a message across to him. So we're going to split it into rooms. So Renee will have some people to support in a room. I will have some people to support in a room. Abraham will have some people to support in a room. I hope I will be able to figure that out because I've never broken out a room before, but we'll find a way around the technology around that. So that's what we're going to do. And then invite us to the document. So if you don't have Yahoo Mail, find Gmail. If you don't have Gmail, find Gmail. Ensure you save your application that you're now working on to a drive, and then invite me to the document. We can take a look and say, oh, realign this, make this more specific like that. And then at the end of the 5 weeks, you have a fully developed proposal, and then you are pursuing that money with all that you've got to bring that money in to your organization to support the work you do. After all, the money is not for you to pay rent. The money is for you to do good work. The money is for you to drive solutions. I said 1 hour. This is 9:04. I can't stick to time. So the money is for you to do good work. So guys, you have all you need to make things happen. So the reason why I am hammering on this, I want to be very intentional. So that at the end of the program, nobody will say, oh, I did not get the support that I need. The support is available. You have to draw from it. Just like taking a donkey to the stream to drink water. You cannot force it to drink water. You are provided access to the water. But maybe I will have to force you. Because if you do not submit the proposal, if I don't see notification, you send me screenshot of the proposal that you have submitted to a funder within a specific window. We'll decide what that window will be when we're approaching the end of this cohort. If you don't do it, you send me $200. I will use that $200 to go to Primark or Next, or is it TK Maxx, to shop for fine clothes and wear it.
Somebody is saying, force me.
That Anu wants to give me $200. She wants to give, she will give me, so you give me $200. All right, so let's take questions at this point. Is there anything you're not clear about? So if you're showing up on Saturday, you're showing up with your work done because you already have the training in your house. So if you close from work, carry your phone and start going through the training, or carry your laptop and start going through the training. If you are doing break in your office place, whatever, you have 1 week to go through that training and implement. Let me tell you, we write proposal 2 days. There are some proposals you see, it is 2 days. Who is giving you 5 weeks to write? Nobody gives you 5 weeks to write proposal, you know. If they give you that time, like, it's very, very few. So there are some you will just see that, oh, the deadline is next tomorrow. You will have to write it now. So you have 2 days to write, 3 days to write. So giving you 5 weeks is Christmas for you. It's because you're learning. So you have all that you need. You're showing up on Saturday, 8 p.m. British summertime, convert it to your local time zone with your work already done. And then you will get access to Ginger to fire you up for the next week. The next week, you get into your project design. You'll bring project design is really the meat, because that's where we'll now look at the log frames. That's why I said, invite us to your documents, so that even if we cannot support sufficiently in the live sessions because of time, within the week, we would look at each of the document they are working on. So for Sasarambe organization, you are broken into 3 teams. Carol sent me an email of 3 programs that you're working on. I believe that she should have communicated that to you. So you also look at whoever you have teamed up with, who is working on the agricultural project and all of that. So for Sasarambe team, you are working on 3 proposals. 3 proposals for Sasarambe, because your CEO said 3 programs. So if she wants to see those 3 applications going out at the end of the program, I have an understanding that you're currently supported by Rotary International, but you need to diversify your revenue stream, and that's why she's building the capacity for proposal writing. So you're going to be working on 3 programs, 3 applications throughout the program. So if you have questions, let's get on the questions, and so that by 9:15 we can close. You go and rest, then you start going through your workshop, then you start doing the work and show up on Saturday. Anu has asked a question.
Sorry, I have a question. Please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, number 1, when you were saying something about the donor call for proposal from parts, that's all I heard, because the other ones you mentioned that are on the Google Drive, I was off at the internet. So I don't know whether you're going to send all those things to us.
Okay, they are inside the drive. So if, can someone confirm that they have, the documents are more than 6? Let me take a look from the back end and show you guys what the drive will look like. So let me just pull up what the email looks like, and then make it easier.
I think the document is about 11.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. So let me share my screen. So you have everything you need, though. You don't need anything more. You have, so this is the email I sent out. So this is the picture of your toolkit. Can you see my screen? I'm sharing screen.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so you got this email. This first link is to the training videos. There are 4 videos in that showcase, which are the 4 modules. The first one is understanding funders' interest and then community needs, because the 2 must align. Details of that course is there. Watch at your pace and then work with the application template. Module 2 is project design and proposal narrative writing. Module 3 is monitoring and evaluation and sustainability strategy. Module 4 is budgeting. So this is it. Click here to download your course templates and tools. The documents are, like someone said, 11. So this is what you have there. You have What Donors Want. It's an ebook. Some of you may have already have it, that opted to download it a while ago. So What Donors Want is an ebook. It's actually the first chapter of another ebook, which is the proposal writing blueprint. Everything just puts you in that right mindset of approaching proposal writing. Then see your call for proposal, U.S. Embassy, Abuja Pass, call for proposal. I want you to read that document, because any application you want to make, you must marry that call for proposal. Understand everything that the donor is interested in and tailor your proposal to what they're interested in. But I'm saying that for the sake of this program, if your program area, your thematic area is not part of this call for proposal, don't worry, work on that, your program area, because that is what you are looking for money for. You have the grant readiness checklist, shows you everything that any funder can most likely ask for as part of the application process. Then you have the sample funded proposal. This is my first successful proposal, valued at £98,000. I want you to look at, as you are going through the program, just read through and then see the thinking, the mindset behind how the program was designed, how the questions were being responded to, how we're communicating about the project. And then you have a project grant funding viability test. I developed this test so that before you find yourself in front of a real application process, you can test the strength of your project idea, identify the gaps, and then take action to realign it to ensure that you are really working on a strong project, or you're communicating it the best way possible. Then this is the application form, PASS grant application form. This is the application form you're working with. This is the application form that you will invite me and Renee and Abraham into. So when you invite us, we can just, within the week as we're working, we'll look through the documents and put a comment. Any of us can respond. So maybe you see only Renee's comment in yours. Another week you see Abraham's comment. Another week you see my comment. But we'll just look through and leave comments to tell you what you need to do. And so you have a log frame, work plan, and M&E template. The log frame is the drawing of your project, just the way you want to build a house. And you don't just go to, you want to build a house, then you just go to the land, you are digging foundation without a house plan, without a house drawing. It's not possible. Your project also needs a drawing. It needs a schema, a plan, which is the log frame that tells you how your activities are influencing the outcomes and the change in the community. You have it. The training for week 2, this is what you're doing week 2, log frame, work plan. Week 3, you do M&E. Then you have another book, proposal writing blueprint. You have a budget template, which is a spreadsheet to develop your budget for your project. And you have another book, 5 strategic steps to attract funding. So those books are like, when my head is going on overdrive with ideas, I dump them, write them out, and then make them available to just help. All right. So it is a toolkit containing all the instruments you need for proposal writing. Okay, so I'll just check the comments for more questions. Thank you once again. Please, can we?
Sorry, my number 2. Sorry, can I finish?
Go ahead.
My number 2 is that there's something I told you on email that I want to just like to include some people in the organization. Remember?
Yeah.
So I'm going to follow up on that.
Okay,
that's so that the younger ones can, benefit from it.
Okay, so you want to do that quickly so that they can get the toolkits also. All right, so it shows that we all have the toolkits. All right, I will not be doing training during the live session. Precious Holy Spirit, help me close my mouth. I don't train during the live sessions. Because at times my head works overdrive and I end up training. But the live sessions is, I can just call you up and say, okay, share screen, set it, let everybody. So let's see your screen. Let's see what you have done. That's why I said, in addition, because of the class size, in addition, we're also going to be in your document. So that's why you need to, your application form, as you're working on it, invite us to the document. I'm going to put our emails. So I'll just put coaches' emails, put it in your classroom. The classroom is the WhatsApp group. Once your program finish, 5 weeks, you will not see the classroom again. You'll be taken off the classroom and you'll be added to another group, the academy. So the group, once a month, we have this meeting like this. Ebenezer is part of that meeting. Set fire everywhere so that you can just focus on what you need to do. You have been called to a very high mission. You think it's easy for you to accept that and come out and then use your personal resources and be providing support to vulnerable people? So it's a bold move, but you also have the responsibility of developing the skills to make it work. If not, you'll be dancing around circles for 12, 15, 20 years. So you see the organizations you admire, all the Faith Foundation, Lagos Business School. Sorry if I'm just talking about organizations in Nigeria, because that's where I'm really from and that's where I have strong work experience. But whatever organization that you that you admire, they've invested in skills development, they've invested in strategy. At the end of the program, I'll show you the available one-on-one programs that you can explore to work with me directly, especially around strategy. So most of my one-on-one work is not, I don't do coaching or teaching anything. It's strategy work. We're creating blueprints, roadmaps for your organization, for programs, for fundraising. That is what I've decided to position myself to provide. So this group program, it's here. You are in. You have stepped into the arena. I want to assume that most of us have watched Gladiator. You are now in the arena for the financial sustainability of your nonprofit. Like Renee said, remove the fear. There's nothing to be scared of. Proposal writing is just putting your ideas, what you want to do in paper, but you have to structure it in a particular way, which is what we're learning. So if you have more questions, let's get on and answer your questions. You can also drop as we go on, that's why the classroom is there, the WhatsApp group is there. If there's anything you don't understand, ask in the WhatsApp group. I'm always there to respond to it. So Ruth, you said you've not received it. So have you received the email that shows grant proposal writing toolkits? Let me share my screen again. This particular email, did you receive this email looking like this in your inbox, Ruth? Did you receive this email?
Yes,
so you will see the document here. You see the yellow button. Click here to download your template. You know, so the training videos are in the first one. Click here to access your training. Then all those templates, the 11 documents, you find them in the yellow button. Please read
I found it.
Yeah. So read closely with detail, because if you miss something, it can affect your application. So we need to pay attention to detail. It's something that we all are learning every single day. So another question, please share emails so we can, yes. So for the emails, for the three of us, Abraham, Renee, and myself, I'm going to drop it in the classroom. So as you start doing your document, you add us as editors so we can leave a comment in what you're doing. We're not going to write, you will do the work. We're just going to comment. So it's like a funder is looking at your proposal and then it's telling you, maybe asking you questions about this to provide more clarity. So we're doing it now before you face the real funder to ensure you're ready. So we're building that readiness now. We'll just look at the document, tell you what to do, tell you what to strengthen. Every week, at the end, you have a strong proposal and then you're firing applications to get the money in. So any more questions, please? Is it acceptable for grants? Yeah, go ahead, Renee.
Just to add that the comments is just like what is done during the review process when grants has been submitted. So you get a classical review of what you are doing. So you can be confident that at the end, you are competitive in the whole game. That's just that. We'll not write a lot of literature, just as is done in the review process.
Yes, that's and
you take it seriously. Take it very seriously. Yeah.
So there's a question here from Anu. Please, is it acceptable for grants if what I run is hybrid and not entirely? So are you doing a social enterprise? Now, it depends on what you register the organization as. So there are some organizations that have not yet registered with CAC. So if you are here, you've not registered with CAC, you want to get that. You will even see it in the grant readiness checklist in your resources. Are you registered with CAC or with the regulatory commission in your country? Excuse me. So you need to start working on that if you're not registered. So when you say hybrid, hybrid is not by, oh, I have decided to be hybrid. You also need to back it with compliance with the laws of your country. You cannot say hybrid by mouth. It also has to be hybrid by documentation, meaning you have gone to CAC in Nigeria, or you have gone to your commission in Kenya, wherever country you have gone there to register it appropriately, the correct legal framework. So in Nigeria, you can register as a trustee, incorporated trustee, which NGOs register as. I think even churches register as that. Then you can be limited by guarantee. And then before you see limited liability. So if you are saying hybrid, that means you should be registering as limited by guarantee. But even at that, you need to really ask a lawyer, the ones that specialize in the company law. I think Nancy, are you a lawyer? I hope I'm not mixing it up. So you need
economist.
You're not, right?
No, economist, yeah.
Economist, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the lawyer is not here, it's Lolade. So you need to ask a lawyer specialized in company law, those ones that do registration and all of that, and ask for advice. So you register under the correct legal framework. All right, so that's my advice. So more questions we have. Ebenezer is there, so just send Ebenezer a message. I can do that if you're here. So if you've not registered and you're in Nigeria, talk to Ebenezer so he can help you do that. Any more questions? I said this meeting was going to be 1 hour. Now we've ended up doing almost 1 hour, 30 minutes. But I wanted to ensure that everyone is clear, everyone is fired up, and you're getting to work. So any more questions around the work we're doing the next 5 weeks? So everyone is clear?
Hi, Coach.
Hello.
Yeah, I have a little bit of difficulty in writing reports.
Okay.
You know, the other time, there was a time we had the meeting a few weeks back, and then we talked about report writing. I discovered that I have not been doing that. So I have a little bit of a challenge in writing a report.
Okay, report writing. Is it that the kind of reports you should be writing?
No, just after my program, I should be able to write report of what I've done. So how to put the report is what.
So probably
what I
the report template.
Something like that. Something like that.
You need a report template. So let me write it down. I'll send you a sample report template.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me write that down. Remember the very first program you took with me, Grant Attraction System. There's a template you can use there. But anyway, I'll just send you one. I'll just send you a report template. You change the logo and all those things for activity report.
Okay. Thank you.
And I may still talk about it in our group call for July, first Sunday of July. Which is next week Sunday. We'll have that for the academy. So I may still just talk about report writing and maybe show the group how to structure the report writing. Nancy, you have long throat. Can we have it as well? I'll put it in the WhatsApp. I'll add it to the drive. I'll add a sample report template to the drive so everyone can get it. All right, so any more questions? No question. And so that's it for tonight. But I want us to have a photograph. Let me rave about it on social media. You know that that's our advertising channel now. So if you can just turn on your camera for a moment, just turn on your camera so we can just take a picture and then it's good night from this end. So I'm expecting to see at least 20 cameras on, 20 faces on for everybody. Elizabeth, good to see your face. Joaquin, good to see your face. Anu, let me do confession. I thought you were a guy. So it's good that as I turn on your camera, so I will not be referring people as him when they are actually her. Okay. Professor Obi, we know you're in Nigeria decided to do you Nigerian thing, not give you lights.
It's true. We don't have lights. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries, no problem at all. iPhone, please, the next meeting, ensure you put the correct name so we can address you properly. We can't be calling you iPhone. So turn on your camera and you may have to put your hands down. For those of you that your hands, I'll just do it from here. Lower your hands. Lower, 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 lower your hands. Turn on your camera. Please turn on your camera if you've not done that. Nancy, Ufon, Infinix, turn on your camera. Okay, so I need to close this.
I see you have a beautiful face. I don't know why you're hiding it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So your name is showing as iPhone. Please ensure that when you're coming back into the room, change that name from iPhone or Infinix Hot 6. Change it to your name so we can address you properly. All right, so well done, everybody. It's good night. I'll see you all on Saturday, 8 p.m. British Summer Time. So in Nigeria, it's 8 p.m. In Kenya, it's 10 p.m. In Cameroon, I don't know. But just try convert it to your local time zone. So you don't come in when we have closed or before we start. So ensure you convert it 8 p.m. British summer time. Convert it to your local time zone. Currently, UK and Nigeria are on the same time zone. By autumn, winter will shift to an hour behind. All right. So convert to your local time zone. Get on, watch your workshop for week 1. Download your application form, start writing it immediately. You have 1 week to do that. As you're coming on Saturday, you're coming with work done. I would send in the emails of 3 of us by tomorrow. I'll put it in the group by tomorrow. Add us as editors to your application form so we can review and leave comments. Leave comments on what you need to do. Congratulations, guys. Set your mind on a particular figure. $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $75,000, $99,000, $99,999, somewhere between $10,000 and $100,000. If you feel you have the muscle for more and your faith is stronger than mine, you can decide to do $200,000. It's good. But have a figure in mind, because that figure will help you think, what value am I supposed to be creating to be able to access $30,000 funding? You will know that it's not for 2 days training. It's not for just 1 week training. You go like that. You will do the work. So set your figure in your mind and then work on the proposal. The opportunities will pop up. The grants that you are meant to apply for, as we're getting to the end of the program, you will find them and you will apply for it. If not, you send me $200. I'm not joking about it. You don't submit within the week. If you miss the deadline, I'll just send you seller link and you pay $200 to me. All right, good night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the kickoff meeting. I hope it was fun. I hope you're all energized to get on work. So see you in the classroom. See you on Saturday during the live session where we all get fired up again to work on the second part of the journey. Thanks again. Congratulations on your journey and good night.
Night.
Bye-bye. Hey, Popsy. Hey. Yeah.